What's up, guys and gals? I'm your host Mike Pugh of the FPC Virtual Channel, and you're tuning into OBS tutorials. What is OBS? OBS is the Open Broadcasting Software Studio, or Open Broadcaster Software Studio. I currently am running the 64-bit Windows version. Depending on what type of version you have, your computer could either be 32-bit or 64-bit. So yeah, you'll definitely be able to get this if you have a Windows 7 or greater. You can also have a Linux, or you can have a Mac computer. Depending on the type of computer you have, you may be able to utilize it in its full capacity. Now, if you notice up here, you have File, Edit, View, Profile, Scene Collection, Tools, and Help. That's the upper left corner, and you can utilize these as you see fit. On the bottom, you're going to notice you have this panel. It looks like a panel. You have Scenes, Sources, Mixer, and Scene Transitions. And then on the right of the Scene Transitions, you'll see it says Start Streaming, Start Recording, Studio Mode, Settings, and then you have Exit. So you have differing options, and pretty much what I'm going to point out is the tools that you can utilize to create differing things that you want to create with it. Now, I annotated this as Scene 1. It was just stated as Scene with nothing else. And then Scene 2, I actually put that in as well. How I did that, let me remove it. And what you're going to do, you can right click and add, or you can choose to click this plus option, which allows you to add multiple scenes. Now, before we do and get involved in all that stuff, what I'm going to talk about is what is a scene. A scene is basically like trying to go from one view and perspective of a video or a live stream video to another section or another scene. Maybe you want to change your position of your camera source or whatever imagery that you're having displayed on the screen. So you add an additional scene so that way you can flip from one scene to the next scene. So it's like in Hollywood when you have multiple scenes, pretty much. And all you got to do is click them to go back and forth. So now let's move on to sources. What is a source? Sources are basically things that you're putting into your video. So right now there's no sources added to this scene. This scene is a blank scene. It has Scene 1. It's currently going to be defaulted to black, and that's how its original state is if you don't add an actual source. So let's add a source. I'm going to hit the plus button and add my video capture device. And by the way, my background is not removed. It's not the best, but it is what it is currently. Y'all folks are going to see it. So you click it, and then it tries to create. It comes up with this pop-up box / menu options, and it says create / select source. You can click the question mark, and the question mark should bring you to a help section to give you information regarding that particular source information. So if it doesn't come up, then it probably isn't working effectively. And right now I'm getting X's and a little I guess I don't know what that is. Well, all you gotta do is just click over here. So a little X, like line through, red line through. And maybe because when you click this help, it's supposed to pop up something and it's not coming up. So I don't know where that should come up, but hey, maybe they could work on that. So what you see here, it says create new video capture device. This is defaulted. This is a name that's going to come up. So say I decided to accept it as a create new with this video capture device name, I would click OK, and that would be the name that drops here into your sources. So it will be titled as you see it. Or you can add an existing if there were existing sources currently sitting in this seated position in this tray. This is like a system tray for sources. This is your system tray for scenes. So since I don't have any, I'll leave it as video capture 1, or I can call it video cap 1, or maybe call it vid 1. Vid 1 could be good, whatever you want to call it. You can name it specific name, how you want to name it, how you see fit. That's up to you. So let's click OK. And now what it's going to do is try to access a specific type of video camera or web camera that's tied into your PC. So this has to be connected to your PC, where your PC is receiving the feed of video in order for you to render the video onto the screen. So right now I have what is known as a face rig virtual camera, and that's a third-party software which I'm not using right now, and so it's not activated. It won't come up. Now I'm going to go to Logitech HD webcam C16 or C615. That's the actual webcam that I'm sitting in front of in my actual living room. Then I also have an Elgato Game Capture HD. I don't have the Game Capture actually activated, so it won't activate anything. So let's go to the Logitech so y'all folks can see, and now you should see me, and that's what you see here. So I can deactivate it, I can configure the video, I can configure crossbar, I can do different things with this particular video. But I don't recommend for folks to play with too many different things on here. Just leave everything defaulted. What I do recommend for you to do is to correct your video configuration if your configuration is not the best setting. And that means with your coloring of your face and the background or whatever you're wearing. Maybe you want it to stand out in a different contrast or different color scheme, or your background you want to remove, which you see right here. That's my green screen. So let's click that configure video, and then that will go into your third-party software that comes with your webcam or video camera setup, whatever you have that's set up and aligned to work with your PC. So you can go in and you can do adjustments, play around with follow my face. I don't play with that because that may mess it up. Right sound, I don't even know what that is. Autofocus, that basically works with your focus of your web camera. You can go into advanced settings, and this is where you're going to adjust the colors, contrast, color intensity, white balance, stuff like that. Some of them are going to be defaulted to auto, and some of them will not be defaulted at all. It depends on what you want to do. I don't recommend for you to change much of it unless you know what you're doing, but you can experiment and play around and try to get it to what you want it, or you can click restore to defaults, and that will basically reset it to what it comes with the actual tool, how it comes with the tool. So we're just gonna click cancel right now because I have it set up the way I want it. We're gonna click OK. What that does is basically it activates it fully, so that way you can manipulate it. What I just did, I grabbed this little tiny dot, this red dot, and you can drag and drop your tool how you see fit, which is your source. This is your source, your specific actual source that you chose to add into this area here. So the black area, like I said, is the region where your sources will be added, and actually this is where your video will display once you choose to start recording. If you click the start recording button, it will actually start playing and recording. Well, when I say playing, that means that it's capturing the footage and is storing it onto your PC. You can click start streaming, and start streaming will actually start sending the feed to whichever streaming service that you chose to indicate in the settings. Talking about that, we can go up here to file, and say you wanted to pretty much set up your stream. You're going to go to file and then go to settings up here. That's when this becomes something that is useful to use. Also, when you're done your recording, say you chose to do a local recording with an actual video, to go to your hard drive, and then you want to like maybe later on edit it or whatever, you can use this start recording option like I said, and then you would go up here and click show recordings. So let me do that just to show y'all folks where my recordings landed. So my actual recordings landed in this video section here. You can default it through settings and tell the actual OBS Studio where you want your videos to land at. But I'm not going to do that right now. I just want to show y'all folks where mine is located. So it's located on my PC on my videos folder, and then I go and I scroll through and find what video I recently done, which generally is going to be at the tail end of your folder, is the most recent video that you actually launched. So these are the things that maybe the average person doesn't know. Hopefully y'all folks learned something from that, and that helps you with your video creations. If you wanted to get a local video created rather than a stream, that's the way you would actually activate it and actually retrieve it. So say I wanted to retrieve it and send it somewhere, I can right click and then I can go open with, and I can put video media player, VLC player, whatever type of player you have. I can also share it with other people or whatever. So that's the way you would access it, like that. Or maybe if I was on YouTube, I can go on YouTube. Let me open up, let's see, a display capture. That's gonna pretty much put like a mirror and allow me to display the desktop. So that's basically what I'm able to do. What you see here is what it would be showing to the viewers. So let's go on YouTube and say I wanted to upload on YouTube. I would click this upload option right here, and then once you click it, it will access the select files to upload section on YouTube, and you can click this or you can drag and drop the previous or latest video that you actually created, and you would just drop it right there. See, it says a plus copy. You would drop it there if you wanted to do it that way, or you can click here and it will try to access whatever folder that you chose on your PC. So that's up to you. So I'll go to videos, scroll all the way down, and if this was the one that I wanted, I would click that one. But right now, actually, this is on the expansion drive. I have an actual external hard drive. I highly recommend for folks to get an external hard drive, because with video, it's going to be large files, and eventually your hard drive is going to overflow, even if you have a terabyte of space. So terabyte is pretty huge, but with video files, they overload really fast, especially if you're recording for an hour or more. So say this was the one right here, I can drag it and drop it, or I just click open. Once you click open, that will go up onto YouTube and try to download, or I should say upload onto YouTube. So let's go back to OBS. And so let me take a break. I'm gonna pause real quick, so that way hopefully this computer doesn't freeze and I lose the footage. That's one of the things you want to do with your PC. If it freezes a lot, or has glitches or whatever, you want to save your stuff maybe every 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, so say I wanted to switch scenes and swap scenes. Right now we have two different sources. We have the display capture and we have vid 1. If I wanted to swap scenes, obviously if you click scene 1 to scene 2, you will see the transition that is set. Right now it's currently set as a fade. So see, it says scene transitions right here. You can click this and set it as a cut. So let's see how it looks as a cut. The cut is very fast. The fade is somewhat slow. And then you can change the duration. You can add a different type. You can fade the color, loomer wipe. You can do a slide. You can do a swipe. Let's add a slide and see what that does. Slide left. You can choose to slide left, right, up, down. Let's leave it slide left and see what it does. As you can see, there goes your transition. Now, thinking about that, looking into what these transitions give you the capability to do, now you can actually create really awesome on-the-fly transitions. Maybe you wanted to create a lower third. What is a lower third? A lower third would be like a little small rectangle at the bottom right here, and you can actually maybe create a single scene that has a lower third in it and have it transition over where it overlapped the entire view of what was actually pre-recorded or preset, I should say, preset. So say you had this display capture in vid 1 over here, and you chose to put it on scene 2 and duplicate it, then maybe you added a lower third, which is the only difference here between scene 1 and scene 2. It would create the illusion as if you were pretty much just sliding over the lower third instead of the whole entire scene changing. So you can play around and do different things like that. I want to do that kind of stuff. I haven't done it myself per se. I'm just giving y'all folks ideas. You can click this display capture, make it disappear. But what you would do is check this little eye right here, and that makes the display capture disappear. Now say you wanted to do green screen. I did a tutorial for it, but it's really simple. I'll show you the setup since I'm here. You get right here, I have a sheetrock. So you can use sheetrock, you can use some kind of a setup that you want to set up, like with a, I don't know, a rack or maybe tape it to the wall. I don't know how you want to do it. That's up to you and what you have at your disposal, what you choose to purchase. But this is what I got. So I use this, and I'm using a table to hold it up, and a chair behind it. So like I said, it's up to you with your studio setup. I have a light right here. So the light is like positioned in such a way in front of it so I can get decent lighting. And this is not like no professional setup, so I don't have all that kind of money, resources to do professional setups, but hey, it's the best that I can do with what I'm working with. So let's see, we're gonna go up, and all I'm gonna do is play around with the Chroma Key. I'm not gonna tell y'all how to do it or how I actually do it. You can check out the video. Look at the upper right corner up here. There's a little tiny eye that should show up, and you should be able to get to that OBS tutorial. But I'm basically gonna go in, and you'll get to see what I'm doing. So I activated filters. Now I'm gonna go into the Chroma Key and select the Chroma Key, and it automatically disappears because it's defaulted to green. So now, as you can see, it's coming in somehow, some way where my background is removed. But see, it only took like 3 clicks for that to happen. I want to use more of a what they call a crop. So I hit the plus while I'm in the filter. See, it says filters for vid 1. When you hit the plus, it gives you more options. You're gonna go for crop, and then leave it as a defaulted name if you don't care for changing it, just like when you're adding a source. Click OK, and then with the left and top, I want to get rid of that. So let me type in like 20 for the left. Actually, it's going to be about 30. Nope, it's going to be 40. There it is. So 40. Hit 1, 2. There we go. And now that disappears. And we're going to do like 45 for the top. And you can hit the upper arrow for the top here, and the rest of it will disappear. So there you go with that. So I didn't show you exactly how to do it. Like I said, y'all guys can check out that video. And let's go in a little bit more to get this fuzz out of there. So we're gonna go into filter, and the way I found out the best way to get rid of the fuzz is actually to get rid of this default. So you, instead of using the green default, you go for custom, and then with the custom you click select color. This is the option under it, select color. This is the key color name. They have like number or whatever, and then right now it's currently on green. You want to pick like maybe purple or something that you're not wearing, and then bring out the full color of the background, and then select again, select color again, and then click pick screen color. Then you choose that color, and now your whole entire body disappears, and then you can drag the similarity in, and all that fuzz is gone, most of it. Then you can drag the smoothness back and forth too. Once you get it locked in, the reason why it's actually not that great is because my hat has some of that color in it. So you don't want to wear something that can conflict with the actual removal. So I take off my hat, and let's see, we're going to go into the filter, and we're going to play around again. And bam, there we go. So now I got rid of all of that. In order to get rid of that green fuzz around my head, I would have to go into the filter and then go for a key color split reduction, and that will take it out a little bit, take out that green. See? And then smoothness, if you can bring the smoothness down and then adjust, you have to play around with it in order to get it right. So your lighting makes a difference, how the lighting is positioned. As you can see, when I move the light, it changes that a little bit. So I move the light just at such a degree, and I'm using my toes to hold up the light. So maybe I can get like get something like this headphone thing, put it under it, and now it's positioned in the best position I can get it. That's a bad angle. All these things make a difference. The angle of the light, stuff like that. So now a lot of the fuzz is out of the way. Let's get this cleared. It's not the best setting actually. I don't have the best, but if I go to my other setting, which is, let's go to a different scene. Go to my untitled scene. Now I have a really awesome setting over here. See? So, you know, it depends on how you do it, what you choose to do. Actually, let's go in, change this filter. I'll be talking more about like creating multiple projects. Like you can create scene collections where you can have multiple projects in one. So that way, if you're working on one and you need to improve on another, you can work on more and more. You know, you can add. You can click new over here where it says scene collection, and that will allow you to add multiple. You can also duplicate. So let's go back to Wrap Finite. This one is going to be for my rap channel. I'm going to have a different scene collection for each channel, so that way I can work on the channels and organize the content, and then I move those specific contents into folders that are set up for those specific channels. So like one of the things on YouTube is organization, content management. Like a lot of people don't get into that. Some people may not know exactly how to manage their content effectively, and if you don't do it wisely, you're going to end up with a pool of mess and a lot of videos scattered everywhere. So I'll get into those kind of videos to help y'all folks improve on your content management. So now we got scene 1, scene 2, and look at that, it just throws me off to the side. Pretty cool, right? And this is kind of fuzzy, hazy. It's not doing too well for me in terms of the filter. I don't know why the filter actually came out that way, but let's go and try to change the color again and see if I can fix that. So we're going to select the color, pick screen color, and then select the darker color and try that, and you'll see that it will do something different. Let's see, there we go. It did improve it, so it improved it a great deal. It's just this halo thing is the problem that I'm having now. But let me throw my hat back on. That's why I like to wear a hat, because it kind of gets rid of that halo to some degree. Now if I put a white background in there, let's go and hit the plus for the source and then put in an image and then click OK. Now this brings up properties for your image. What you're going to do is click browse to browse an actual image from your file folders. And then you're going to go to pictures or wherever your images are. My images is in pictures, and I'm gonna go to backgrounds. I set up folders and I organize every single folder so that way I know where things are set. That's what I recommend for y'all folks. Let's go into backgrounds, and I'm gonna choose and select the white background. Then I'm gonna click OK. So once you do that, that brings it in, and then click OK again. And then you can take that and right click it. When you right click it, you can go to transform and then go to fit to screen or stretch to screen. When you do that, that actually covers the whole entire screen. So that did not stretch the screen. Let's try fit to screen. Transform, fit to screen. Here we go. And then let's transform again and stretch center to screen or stretch to screen. There we go. So you want to right click, transform, fit to screen, and then stretch to screen. And that allows you to get it that way. Now in order to overlay or underlay, you're gonna move the object up or down. Object, I call it object, is sources, pretty much the same thing. In my mind, it's an object, physical thing that you can move on the screen. So see, you can still move it using these hash marks or little dots, right? You can play around with all that. Now another recommendation, if you have like scars or whatever and you don't want that to affect your viewership, you can use makeup. So it doesn't matter if you're a male or female, makeup does help to get rid of that and improve the quality of what you look like. on screen, on the scene. So I like to do videos like this. I don't focus on the makeup per se to make it look good. It really doesn't matter. I can end up setting myself up with like a clown face if I wanted to. Not that I ever done it on YouTube. I've done it on another channel, on another network I should say, playing around, having fun. The thing with video is it's all about creativity and fun and eye candy too. So the higher quality you give your viewers, the more chances you're going to get viewed more. So visual is like the whole key with YouTube. It's pretty much everything. So there you go. Now I was looking at the actual screen. When I'm talking to folks, I should be looking at the eye of the camera, so that way y'all folks can get the, you know, the direct communications that I'm actually putting out. And that's kind of like when you're talking to a person, you're looking into their eyes, talking to them directly. If you're looking down or you're looking in different directions all the time, then the person's going to feel that they're not focused on you, or you're not focused on them. So that's another thing you like to think about. You should think about. I said you like to think about. That's another thing you should think about, because you know when you're talking, you should at least try to direct your view towards the audience, and the audience is actually, you know, paying attention and focusing on you, obviously. So you're giving them that courtesy and you're trying to communicate directly to them. So other than that, that's what I got right now. You can throw in smiles and stuff like that, and that could help to raise the bar for your actual audience as well, because hey, you want them to feel happy and to enjoy the presence, and a smile could actually change the experience. You don't have to be fake about it. Like I try my best not to be fake in terms of putting out fake smiles. So I smile when I feel it. You know, that's basically how I am. Some YouTubers are just super happy and they smile all the time. Some YouTubers are just selling the perfect ideal how would you say, package of a video, and they just want people to get that vibe the whole entire time. But me personally, I like to be myself and just do what I do, and I don't smile all the time, but inwardly I'm probably 9 times out of 10 happy no matter what. So yeah, or I'm tired. If I'm tired, that's not the best time to make a video, but hey, some people, you know, they're gonna go hard no matter what. So let's see. So yeah, another recommendation is to get good sleep before you get into making these videos, or even before you get into trying to create content in general, because your energy levels is what will be noticed when the videos actually get seen by your viewers. Let's click the pause and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we got that taken care of. Say I wanted to create a much more useful scene, something that could stand out a lot better than just a white background. Maybe I wanted to go in further. Talking about that, like how you see these red dots are not going to show up in your actual footage. So if I start recording, it's not going to show up in my footage. So don't worry about that. You can click off. When you click off, it goes to the next source that you have there, or you can click here where there's nothing going on. In this particular portion, nothing actually occurs, so you're not recording this surface here. The only surface that's being recorded is this white area rectangle, or actually the default that was current when you first started, which was the black defaulted color. So that would be the actual space where all the footage is going to be. So say I wanted to move my camera position like that. You don't have to do that while you're recording. You can create multiple scenes, like I said, and say I wanted another scene 3, and then throw in my camera again. We go to video capture device, go to add existing, and then go to vid 1. Click OK, and now I'm here in another position. Say I wanted it to be here and make myself larger, and then go back and then add that image. So I'm not going to talk exactly about it, I'm just going to do it. So you know, there's different things that you can do like this, and it pretty much, sorry about that, went into the filter by mistake. It pretty much makes it user friendly, and it allows you to do much more. Let's see, transform, stretch the screen, there we go. And we can also right click if you want to like add it to the top or lower. Say you wanted to overlay, I should say, to to the up or down position, top or bottom, you can put it in the bottom like that by right clicking. But you would have to click that particular source. So this is the source I'm on, which is the video capture here. Then this is the source I'm on, which is the actual background. So now we can go from scene 1 to scene 2. Or sorry, from scene 1 to scene 3. Scene 2 would be nothing, obviously. See that? So say I was over here talking about one thing, and then over here talking about another thing. And then say I wanted to do it behind the scenes. Say I started streaming, and my streaming is actually live, and I want to put it in effect through the stream, but I don't want people to see any errors or anything that's going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to click studio mode. In studio mode, what it does, everything on the left is what you pre-program. Everything on the right is going to stay stagnant until you choose to click transition. So that's how that works. So you have to think of it as what's going on here was exactly what you did here. But what's going on the right, when I say here on the left, everything on the left is what you previously was doing here. Now everything on the right is stagnant. It's what you did here on the left. Now say I wanted to transition to 1. Now you see on the right, 1 did not move. So it's going to stay that way as if I was still in scene 3. See that? Now let's click transition and watch what happens when I click transition. Bam. So it allows you to hold the scene in its previous stated condition, and then when you click transition, it brings in the newer scene transition that you chose to actually program it to do. So programming here is not writing codes, it's just pretty much clicking, dragging and dropping things in place, and then clicking the transition option, which is pretty awesome. Now say now I wanted to go to scene 2, and maybe I wanted to do some work in the background of scene 2 while I'm talking in this actual position of scene 1. So I can go in, add a media source. If I wanted to add a media source, go into browse, then go and find the actual media source while I'm talking. So maybe this was a tutorial to help people live, and I wanted people not to see every little detail, right? Maybe I wanted to bring in a mini golf clip from my experiences of my real life experience, right? So say I wanted to bring this in. I click it, click open, and then click OK. We can loop it if we wanted to loop it. Click OK to bring it in, and that should bring the media source in. If it's not playing, I don't know why, but let's turn that off and then turn it on. It should actually play here. Let's click studio mode off, bring in scene 2, and there we go. So what that means is that, let's go back to studio mode, go back to scene 1, transition that in. Now scene 2 will not play until you click transition. That's basically what it is. I thought about it and I said to myself, well, maybe they have it preset so that it won't play until you click transition. And actually that's how the developers came up with this particular type of transition, which is pretty awesome. That's my uncle Arch. He's in a lot of my videos. We call him Professor X because he loves science. He loves talking about the universe and things like that, and he's a really cool dude. So this is us playing while we were doing mini golf. We used to play mini golf all the time in the summer, and I look forward to more mini golf games coming soon. So I just wanted y'all folks just to get an idea of the scene transitions that you can play with while in studio mode. And this is actually what is being recorded if I chose to click start recording. If I chose to click start streaming, that would actually stream directly in, or it can be recorded in like that. Come to think of it, you can create a whole entire film project using the studio mode if you know within the timing and time of the frames, the keyframes and things like that. If you know the timing of what you want to put where, you can preset it in all these differing scenes here, and you can time it out so that your transitions come out really crystal clear the way you want it to look. You can also build say on this particular one, I wanted to build a unique type of transition that use that swipe to, you know, build it in to make it come through. You can do that, and you can actually change the differing transitions here. You can actually add a plus and then put in a slide or fade or cut, and then you can change the timing, 300 milliseconds, or you can go up and down the scale, which is pretty cool. So hopefully y'all folks learned something about OBS so far. I'm going to be doing some more tutorials on OBS to help y'all folks go a lot further. This one was in depth on doing scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, etc. I don't think there's a limit to how many scenes you choose to put into the OBS Open Broadcaster Software Studio, so it's really limited to your imagination. So if your imagination starts to go beyond the one-dimensional or two-dimensional plane of view and perspective when it comes to video creation, I guarantee you're going to create much better videos. You're going to get many more viewers to watch your videos. I can almost guarantee it, 100% guarantee, because that's what it's all about. YouTube is all about creativity. It's about coming off the head with differing things that you can actually perform and conduct behind the screen. It's not about being downtrodden, negative, being a booger per se of a personality. You don't want that on a video platform, because videos should be thriving energy, happy energy, something to actually, you know, stir up some good, how would you say, interest and happy communications, smart communications. You can act dumb and act retarded if you want behind the screen, and I'm not talking and putting down people who are like that or any retarded people. I mean, that's an actual mental condition and a physical condition that they can't do anything about. I'm talking about people who act that way and on purpose. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily not necessary that you have to do that on this particular platform in order to get views. Some people think they have to go out of control on the screen, and sometimes that does create a shock and awe, and it makes people react to it a great deal more. But what about the intelligence that a person has, the capacity you have for being an intellect? That counts for something. So don't count that out in yourself, within yourself, the capacity that you have, the full capacity of being a human being, and to show humanity what you really are capable of doing, of thinking, of performing, of creating, of being a positive outlet and communication force. Like, you really can communicate some amazing stuff. So other than that, I just wanted to put that out there, because there's a lot of people out there that have the misconception that YouTube has to be some kind of a place where you dump a lot of negative energy and a lot of messed up mind state communications or mindset communications, and how you act and interact should be, you know, how would you say, absurd or out of control. And it definitely doesn't have to be that way. So other than that, I'm out of here. Joe, love and peace to all. I'll see you next time in the next tutorials, etc. And stay as creative as possible. Peace. Oh, and feel free to subscribe. Feel free to do what you do on these different channels. Communicate effectively, and you will get much better results in terms of communications in the comment sections, because communicating ineffectively or irrelevant and trying to beg people, like asking people to go to your channel, doing the sub for sub type of stuff, none of that stuff is really going to show people how good you are or how creative you are. That doesn't help people to see that. It's just you trying to beg and beg and beg, but your channel may be full of crap, and you may not be that good at anything, and that's why they consider that to be spam, because people want to get authentic, real true creativity and real true, good communications from others. They don't want that disgenuine or not real communications. Anybody can copy and paste millions of comments, hundreds of thousands of comments or thousands of comments, sub for sub and stuff like that, but that does not equate to a true experience on YouTube as a community member, as part of YouTube. And so yeah, that's my advice on that. Peace. Thanks a lot, folks, for watching this video all the way to the end. If you did, if y'all folks want to get to the next videos in this series for OBS, you can click over here. There's a little box that you should see, and there's also a circle below that box that will allow you to subscribe. If y'all folks are interested in catching my latest videos, there you go. See you next time. Joy and peace to all.